Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Express. Well, this is a new week and a new episode on what is becoming everyone's favorite talk show. You'll agree with me that it is encouraging, exciting, profound, real, energizing, sensible, and sensitive. This is what Express is all about, and much more. So, without any further delay, please help me welcome back to the stage the beautiful, expressive, talented, and savvy director of Express. She's called Carolyn. Carolyn, take it away.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Express. Once again, we are here because our show believes that everyone has a story. Our goal is to give others hope through our testimonials. Our guest today is Dr. Leon Wellington. He's a former vice president at Inter-American Division of Seventh-day Adventists. He studied public health at Loma Linda University Health, and he studied theology at NCU, Northern Caribbean University. He lives in Miami, Florida, and he's from Asia, Manchester, Jamaica. And he's happily married to Sharnette, an educator by profession, and together they have two adult sons, Rohan, a pastor who is married to Lisa, and Handel, a commercial pilot who is married to Carmen, as well as 5 grandchildren. Let me tell you, I could go on and on and on, because this man, he is a leader, and he has been a leader for a very long time. So let me just sit back and let him join us and tell us all that he has done and the struggles he's been through to attain all that he has attained, and also what he is doing for the community. Let's sit back and listen to Dr. Leon Wellington.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Good evening.
Hello. How are you?
Yes, I'm doing very well.
I tell you, this is a privilege to have you on my show, the People's Show, because without them, we couldn't have a show. So before we go any further, let's get started. Okay, so where were you born? Give us an idea.
Okay, as mentioned a little earlier, I was born in a little quaint community there in South Manchester called Asia. Hearing the name Asia, you would think it's the whole continent, but that's just quite the opposite.
Right.
Yes, so that's where it all started.
Yes. And your parents are now deceased?
Yes, so I'm an orphan officially.
Okay.
And so I think a lot about orphans.
Oh, yes. We will talk more about that, right?
That's right.
Okay. So from your parents who have deceased, who would you say you took your zeal to keep going and not stopping and attaining all these goals that you set out to achieve?
Well, I struggle with that because I think the circumstances of life was more of a motivator.
Okay.
There was the encouragement from my mother in particular, but I think the circumstances under which I grew up, which was more of a challenge, as I look back, highly motivated me to say, life can be better. And so that was when I struggled against the odds of pressure and present circumstances then, to make it out of that community.
What were some of the struggles? Can you share some of those struggles you had in that community with us?
Well, for a start, We were poor, but I didn't know it.
Oh.
I didn't know we were poor. I just know that we didn't have some of the things that would make life a lot easier, and that some other people had.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that the better way to get it is to push against the odds and do what I can so that I could lift myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was the only one for my mother, and my father, he had migrated by then, so there wasn't a whole lot of him around to motivate. So that's part of life. You had to go through the education system as it was then, primary school, um, and the Jamaica local examinations as they were at the time. It was very, very important because when I completed my third Jamaica local examination, I was able to take a pre-trained teacher's job. So that
Mm-hmm.
really started me off in terms of earning some funds to get
Okay.
my life together, buy the little things I need, and set a course of action. Looking back on it now, um, uh, it wasn't a lot of money, but it made good back then. I remember when I started to work, it was £19. I don't
Wow.
know what that would work out to today, but 90, we were in the pounds days,
Mm-hmm.
pounds, shillings, and pence. But
Right.
I remember it was £19 per month, and out of that, I had to live, pay some rent, and buy some food, and but here I am today.
Yes, 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 yes. So, high school. Did you actually go to high school?
No, no, not at all.
So tell us
I
how
wasn't
you were
I
able
wasn't
to.
fortunate to go to high school, although there were some of my colleagues who had that privilege. We looked at them as being very privileged
Mm.
because my parents were, my mother especially, with whom I spent most of my time. She was just running a little basic school in the
Oh,
community, and
okay.
I remember it was sixpence per week for each child. you know. And so sixpence, that's 5 cents
Mm.
for each child then.
Wow.
So that's where it's coming from.
So how did you
So
get your way up from, because you had to qualify to actually.
yeah, that's right.
So tell us that.
As I indicated earlier, I went through the primary school system, and there we did the Jamaica local examination, which was pretty much equivalent to the GCE, which would give you some status. And with those certificates, you could enter into either the police force, or you could enter into teachers college, but they would also um, employ you on a pre-trained basis, and uh, and other little things. But I moved on from there.
So
I went
yes.
out into industry. Um, I went into the civil service
Okay.
after a while, and then I got married, and family. You don't think about high school at that stage. You think
Right.
about maintaining your
Yes.
family.
Right. Exactly.
So I moved on um, from teaching to civil service, and I was able to purchase a car at that stage because it was a traveling officer's job. So you
Mm.
know, and then I moved on to life insurance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that was doing pretty good. But
Somehow you don't look like you would do sales at all.
maybe that's why
I
I'm
mean,
out of it.
you're rounded, man.
Maybe that's why I'm out of it. uh, but it was doing pretty good for me. Um,
Yes.
but I still didn't feel satisfied,
Right, right, right.
and I was encouraged to go to West Indies College. But
Okay.
there were a lot of people who didn't have what I have, and they were making it. So I did what they had at the time was a matured entrance exam for people who didn't go through the traditional system, and
Mm-hmm.
I was successful. Yes. So I was mentioning that when I graduated from West Indies College, then 4 years later, my salary was for the month was what I was getting in insurance for a week's pay. So, that was quite a sacrifice in quotes, but I was nonetheless no worse off for it. My wife was working, she was
Yes.
teaching,
Teaching.
so
Yeah.
we were able to make it. And she has played a tremendous role in the development of my own development and our family as well.
Yeah.
So I want to just give some credits to my wife Shernette for all she has done
Yes.
so
And
that
by
we could
you, the family.
raise a successful family.
Family. That's good. It's nothing more than you have partnership working together.
That's correct. Yes.
Makes a big difference. Okay, so I know you've done so much. I'm not gonna stop you again. I just need you to keep going until you get to your non-for-profit.
Yeah, if you have to stop me, then
Yeah,
surely
if
go
I have
ahead,
to, I
because
will. But you
there
keep.
may be some things that I would, I probably will miss. But um, I have gone out since then to serve in various capacities in the church.
Mhm.
I had pastoral circuits, and they were some of them were really very large. I
Mm.
remember I had 9 churches and 3 companies in
Wow.
one pastoral circuit, and some of them were reasonable sized churches, 200-300 members, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a mini conference in
Okay.
those days.
That's right.
And so I also served as director of youth ministries in
Mm-hmm.
the Central Jamaica Conference
Mm-hmm.
for about seven plus years, and that for me was pretty much the highlight of my ministry.
Working with the youth.
Working with young people
Yeah.
brings a lot of delight, and many of the relationships that I still have with a lot of people were those that I met while serving as youth director.
Yes.
And so I also served in many other capacities in the conference, including secretary of
Secretary.
the conference, um, and later president of the conference. And this was the Central Jamaica Conference. After serving there for a number of years, I I was invited to serve at the West Indies Union in Mandeville as
Okay.
secretary of the union,
You know. Mm-hmm.
and that I did for a number of years. By the time the term of 5 years was ended, um, the president then, Dr. Silas McKinney, retired 2 years earlier, so I carried that for the rest of his term, and then I got
Mm-hmm.
my own period,
Be president.
but didn't last very long because the Inter-American Division thought that I could be of help um, in the wider circles of the church. So I was invited to serve as vice president of the Inter-American Division.
Mm-hmm.
And that I did for the next 17 years of my life until
Wow.
I retired.
Mercy. That's a long, long time.
Yes.
Oh, there's many things you could teach us. You could tell us as a leader. What are some of the qualities that you think are necessary to be a good leader?
Yes, that's a good question because um, you're really not a leader if people not willing to follow you.
Mm,
You know, you're just taking a walk, as
yes.
someone else said.
Mm,
So, in order to really be a leader, you must be an inspirational kind of
right.
person.
Mhm.
Um, you must be someone who is willing to listen,
Okay.
but also you must have vision.
Okay.
You must know where you want to go. You must have an end in view. You must set goals and help and have others help you achieve them.
Mm,
And how do you do that? In the setting of a relationship, you sell those ideas, you sell those goals to your followers and until they make it their own.
mm,
So humility is also a part of that,
yes.
you know. Um, there are several things that makes for a good leader. Your own personality must also be a part of it. People will follow you for who you are. So even if you were not born with the best personality, you have the opportunity to shape it
Mm-hmm.
so that you yourself can be comfortable in it
Mm-hmm.
and that others can be comfortable with you.
Okay.
Yep. So that those are some of the things I would say, and it gives me a lot of satisfaction to have served the church in these various capacities. Um, in most of my service have been in these leadership areas.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't come with all of these skills. Some of the things that I had to do, and some of the situations with which I had to deal, they shaped my whole life and trajectory because you know um, you're not elected to be a failure. You're elected to be a success,
Yes, exactly.
and not only your own success, but the success of the organizations that you lead.
Indeed. Yes. Okay. So,
That has always got to be a factor.
mm, tell me more about ASI.
Yes, ASI is a organization of business and professional persons who are Seventh-day Adventists.
Okay.
And so, having served at the uh, division level, I was asked to serve as secretary of ASI,
Mm-hmm.
which helped to give leadership to these individuals who, according to their constitution, they are not part of the church per se, but they are church members who love and help the church achieve its mission through their own contributions, personally, financially, academically, in whatever ways they can serve. But it's not really a department of the church. So
Okay.
it was my privilege to serve this organization for about 16 years.
Oh,
And this is all over the division territory. And for those who may not be aware, the division territory includes um, all of the Caribbean areas,
okay.
Central America, the top of South America, Guyana, Suriname, those areas, um, and Central America and Mexico. So it's a fairly large
Right.
territory.
Mm,
Three, four official languages. Of course, there are many others, but officially there would be the French, the Spanish, Dutch, and of course English. And so my position as vice president would allow me to deal with all of these union territories, and having to give leadership at their various meetings, seminars, whatever. It was a variety of things. So
Okay.
I have grown tremendously by having to do that, you know.
I'm sure you have. Definitely. So now that you are retired, what are you doing? I know you're not stopping because you're used to working.
Oh, that's right. Well, you know, once you're accustomed to work, you just can't sit around.
Right, exactly.
And
So what
so
are you using
that
your
was never
time for
my
now?
style, just to sit around.
Right, exactly.
Um, Many people would have heard about the Educational Foundation for Children's Care. It is an organization that I spearheaded while I was working,
Mhm.
and it was not an idea that was new to me, really. It was one of the things that I was invited to serve as liaison between the Inter-American Division and this child um, organization situated out there in Washington State. Um, and the organization is International Children's Care. I got a lot of insight out of sitting on their board and helping to guide them, and making whatever contributions I could from the division standpoint.
Mhm.
But I figured that their service could be of value in my home country, Jamaica.
Okay.
And so I didn't think it was going to be helpful to wait around until they could decide to do a project in Jamaica. So I got a few interested people around here in South Florida. And then we came together and made a plan how to approach this by establishing uh, the same village concept with a facility in Jamaica to serve the abandoned, abused, homeless, and neglected children in the
Okay.
country. This we were able to do. We established a 501c3 tax deductible organization here in the United States, so that contributions to the organization would be tax deductible. And we were able to start in 2005. We got land, and we were able to raise funds to improve the building that we got on the land. Matter of fact, we got 5 acres of land in
Wow.
Clarendon, in 4 parts in Clarendon. And
Mm.
there was a building on it that needed repairs. So we did that, and that is where we are able to start our project of having um, uh, children living in
Mm.
the facility.
How many you have living in now?
Later, uh, didn't hear you.
Do you have kids living in, you said?
Yes, yes,
Oh, how many about?
we have, well, because we got them through the government.
Hmm.
Sometimes they come and they cycle them out, so the numbers keep fluctuating.
Okay.
But
Okay.
we have
It's a
we have
capacity.
about 5 of them there at the moment.
Oh.
We have one who is now registered at Northern Caribbean University. She's registered to do secondary education with a
Hmm.
specialization um, in what's it, children who need special ed. Yeah, that's
Okay.
it. Special
Okay.
special
Special ed.
education.
Hmm.
We have 2 others in high school in Maypen,
That's
and
awesome.
we have others at home there. So um, we feel good about the project.
Yes.
The home that we have there, are we are planning to relocate because of the building. We're able to restore it, but not one of those modern block and steel building. So because the soil there moves and cracks, it
Oh,
affects the building itself that doesn't have steel. We either have to rebuild or relocate, and we
it.
chose relocation. So
Okay.
we have purchased a home out there in Bogwalk in St. Catherine, and we are in the process of gathering funds to upgrade, and hopefully by next year we will be able to relocate the project from Clarendon to St. Catherine.
Catherine. Okay, great. So, how do you gather funds for that? Is anything in the pipeline right now?
Well, we just finished a campaign. Um, there is a campaign called the Give Miami Day for organizations um, in Miami-Dade, and we were invited we were approved for the first time to be part of that. So we had an outreach campaign in November 17.
Mm-hmm.
So that brought us a little fund. We used to do dinners, and we were not able to do much of that with COVID around.
I know.
We visit some of the churches here in South Florida, so we get good support from our churches when we do visit. We also offer scholarship here to minority communities here in South Florida, since we do collect here. We also have a branch up there in Toronto, in Canada, and they help us with some things from time to time. So we're making some progress.
Oh, wow.
And we also want to appreciate the work of the conference in Jamaica and the union, the conferences, but especially the Central Jamaica Conference and the Jamaica Union. So they do give us a little grant from time to time. And in particular, the Central Conference have been encouraging their members to make donations. And so we are open for anyone who wants to become a sponsor and help to sponsor any aspect of the project or sponsor our children.
Yes.
I tell you, one of the interesting things that the property that we purchased in St. Catherine, the people from whom we purchased the property, they were so impressed with what we're doing that they take it upon themselves, and they're living up in New York, and they take it upon themselves to send down barrels of things for our children.
That is so sweet.
We just cleared 6 barrels from them with food
What?
and stuff for our children. Oh, yes. So
Never fail. Never fail.
God is blessing the project, and
That is good.
we would like to invite anyone who is listening here to join us and be a part of what is going on.
So can you please give your number,
Sure.
your website, whatever information?
I can share some information with you.
Yes.
Folks can easily, we are in the texting days now, right? So folks can easily text the word donate to, let me give you the number here.
Yes.
Just a minute. Let me just be sure I give you the right one. You can text the word donate to 786-305-6566. There'll be 3 options, and so you can choose the one you want. 786-305-6566. Also, there are a lot of people who buy things from Amazon. If you're a member of Amazon Prime, they will send to us a percentage of anything you purchase.
Oh.
It's not coming out of your purchase. They're not charging it. If you buy $100 worth of stuff, I don't remember the percentage they give. If it is 0.5%, whatever, they will contribute that to our foundation. So all you have to do is to look for, when you purchase your things before you check out in Amazon Prime, look for Educational Foundation for Children's Care, and choose that as your favorite charity, and they will send us funds. We continue to get funds
That is good
from
to know.
there as well. Or you may want to write a check, because we still have some folks who prefer to do that. They are scared of modern technology, so they prefer to do that. But you can send your check to Educational Foundation for Children's Care, or EFCCI for short, PO Box 960815, Miami, Florida 33296. 960815, Miami, Florida 33296. And if you still want to do something else, text Zelle. You can Zelle some funds to us at, if you use one of my email addresses, leonwellington41 at gmail.com. It will go straight into the account. It's not my personal account. I just use that to set it up.
Yes.
leonwellington41 at gmail.com. And it will go straight into the account. We will acknowledge your contribution. So there are several ways that you can contribute. We also look for personal resources. If you're in any of our areas, you can join our group. We're looking for people who will sponsor if you have sympathies for what we do, and you can sponsor us, or having established a group in your area. We have a group established there in Washington, D.C., yes, apart from what we have in Toronto, Canada. So we'd like to go into other areas, and apart from what we do in Jamaica. So it's open for anyone who cares. You have a heart for children, and you have the heart to help the less fortunate among us. Who knows? You may be saving one or two from using the gun, or robbing somebody you know, or some of your loved ones. We just have to do all the good we can, as long as we can. And the Lord will work out the rest and bless us.
Yes. Very good way of ending. You know, I feel like for you sitting here and talking with you, it's really a privilege. And I wish I had more time, because I know we haven't even got to where we could go, because there's so much that you have done, and so much knowledge that you have done, and so much you could have shared. But who knows, maybe another time. But for now, I want to thank you so much for just even entertaining me, having you here on the show, to talk with you, to just prick your brain and to ask you a few questions, and for you to tell us of your non-for-profit. I would like you to keep in touch, and later on, who knows, you'll come back and tell us where you have improved when you've moved to the new place that you've bought for the children. We maybe can talk more about that.
Certainly. Let me thank you. Let me thank you for inviting me on.
Yes.
To share my own experience and exactly what we're doing now for the benefit of the unfortunate.
Okay.
Keep up the good work.
Yes.
You're doing a good job.
Thank
and
you.
I wish you God's blessing.
Thank you so much. And just keep on being as humble as you are. Keep on
Thank you.
being as humble. Thank you. Yes, we have come to the end of the show. And as usual, I always like to leave a thought. I just finished talking to a great leader. So I just think I should leave a thought about leaders. Leaders aren't born. They are made. And they are made just like anything else, through hard work. And that's the price we'll have to pay to achieve that goal, or any goal. And this thought was by Vince Lombardi. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for stopping by. And for those who subscribe, thank you. And for those who have not yet subscribed, I'm asking you, just touch that button, subscribe, so that you can be kept up to date with the content of this channel. See you then, until another time. Bye-bye.